Alina was a young black girl with the softest eyes and the gentlest smile. She wasn't loud or flashy. She moved through life quietly, her hair tied back in simple braids, her clothes plain, her voice always calm. In a village where beauty was often judged by fairness of skin, Alina knew she was different. Her skin was deep, rich, and beautiful, but people rarely told her that. Instead, they compared her to her friend Hazel. Hazel was light-skinned, stylish, and obsessed with her own looks. Wherever she walked, she made sure people noticed her. She flipped her hair, posed for imaginary cameras, and talked about her beauty as if it was the only thing that mattered. And maybe to her, it was Hazel called herself Alina's friend. But everyone could see she treated Alina like a prop, someone who existed only to highlight her own beauty. It began with small comments. "Alina, wear bright colors," Hazel said once. "Dark clothes make you look even darker." Another time she argued, "You should avoid standing beside me in group photos. The contrast is too much." At first, Alina laughed it off. Maybe Hazel didn't mean harm. Maybe she was just careless. But the jokes kept growing sharper whenever they met new people. Hazel would introduce herself first, flashing a bright smile. "And this is Alina," she said casually. "Don't worry, she's nicer than she looks." "What's wrong with how I look?" Alina once asked, her voice trembling. Hazel shrugged. "Oh, come on. I'm just being honest." Every time Hazel spoke like this, Alina felt something inside her shrink, curl, and hide. She tried talking to Hazel, explaining how hurtful the comments were. But Hazel always rolled her eyes. "Stop being dramatic. I'm just telling the truth." But it wasn't the truth. It was pure insecurity disguised as confidence. And slowly, Hazel began doing worse. She started making jokes about Alina in front of boys at school. "Alina likes you," she whispered loudly to a boy named Ryan. "But don't worry. She knows she's not your type." The boys laughed. Alina didn't dot at home. She cried alone. She stared at her skin in the mirror and wondered why the world treated it like something wrong. Her mother tried comforting her. "You are beautiful, my girl," she said softly. "Your skin is a crown others wish they could wear." But it didn't erase Hazel's cruelty. The breaking point came one afternoon at school, when Hazel posted a funny video online. It showed Alina studying quietly in class while Hazel recorded from behind, adding a mocking caption, "When you're too dark to shine, but you try anyway." The comments flooded in, laughing emojis, cruel jokes, strangers calling her names she never deserved. That night, something inside Alina snapped, not in a destructive way, but in a powerful one. For the first time, she didn't cry. She didn't feel small. She felt awake. Hazel wanted to make her hate herself, but instead, she had lit a fire inside her. A fire that wouldn't die until Alina took everything back. Not through violence. Not through hatred, not through strength. Through transformation. Through a revenge Hazel would never see coming. The kind that hurts the most. Becoming everything Hazel said she could never be. And part by part, step by step, Alina would rise and Hazel. She would learn what real beauty and real power looked like. This was only the beginning. The morning after Hazel's cruel video spread, Alina walked into school with her head down, expecting whispers, laughter, stares. And yes, they came. A group of boys smirked as she passed. "Hey, it's the girl from the video." Another girl whispered loudly, "Poor thing. She must feel embarrassed." Hazel stood at her locker, surrounded by her usual followers, her smile wide and victorious. But Alina didn't react. Not the way Hazel expected. She didn't cry. She didn't run away. She didn't fight. She just walked past Hazel like she didn't exist. Hazel blinked, confused. "Alina, did you not see the video? Everyone is talking about you." Alina calmly opened her locker. Her voice was steady. "I saw it, and—" Hazel asked, waiting for a reaction. "Nothing," Alina replied. "Say whatever you want. I'm done caring." Hazel froze. This wasn't right. This wasn't how things worked. Alina was supposed to break. She was supposed to fall apart. But instead, she looked calm. To calm, Hazel's smile faltered, because she felt it control slipping from her hands that night. Alina made a decision. She wouldn't hide anymore. She sat in front of the mirror and looked at herself. Really looked. Her skin glowed under the warm light. Her features were soft yet strong. Her hair, tightly braided, framed her face like a crown. She whispered to herself, "They made me believe I wasn't enough. I'm done with that." Instead of thinking about Hazel's insults, she thought about her mother's words, "Your skin is a crown." For the first time, she believed it. From that day on, Alina began working on herself, not to impress Hazel, not to prove anything to the school, but to transform from the inside out. Step 1. Confidence. Alina started walking differently, straighter, calmer, unbothered. Step 2. Academics. She poured herself into her studies. Quietly, consistently, she began topping every exam. Teachers praised her. Students noticed. Hazel noticed the most. Why are teachers always talking about her now? Hazel muttered to her friends, "She's trying too hard." But deep down, Hazel wasn't annoyed. She was scared, because for the first time in their friendship, Alina was shining, and it wasn't fake or forced or loud. It was real. Weeks passed, then came the school's annual youth leadership campaign, a competition where students presented projects about community issues. The winner would be featured in the local newspaper and represent the school in a regional conference. Hazel entered, course, convinced she would win. She even bragged, "I already know I'll be chosen. Who's going to beat me? Alina?" Her followers laughed. Hazel smirked. Life felt normal again, until she saw Alina's name on the participant list. What is she doing here? Hazel snapped. And then came the real shock. Half the school was talking about Alina's project. She chose a topic that hit deep: the destruction caused by color shaming in schools. Hazel felt her stomach twist. Alina wasn't just participating. She was attacking the one thing Hazel used to control her. Colorism. Hazel immediately confronted her. "You're doing this because of me." Alina looked at her with calm, steady eyes. "No, Hazel. I'm doing this because of every girl who ever felt small because someone like you told her to." Hazel's face went pale. For the first time, she felt something she hadn't felt before: fear. When Alina stepped onto the stage, entire room went silent. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She didn't act like a victim. She simply spoke with quiet power. She talked about girls who were mocked for their skin tone, girls who cried alone at night, girls who lost confidence because someone cruel decided to target them. And then she said, "Sometimes the person who hurts you the most is someone who calls themselves your friend." Hazel felt like the spotlight was burning her skin. Whispers spread. People glanced at Hazel. Everyone knew at the end of the presentation. The hall erupted into applause. Several students had tears in their eyes. The principal shook Alina's hand. A teacher whispered, "You're going to change people." Hazel watched from the corner. This wasn't just a win. This was a shift. Hazel's power was crumbling. Alina's rise was unstoppable. And this was only the beginning of her revenge. Not loud, not cruel, but social, emotional, and powerful. The kind that leaves a mark. Hazel always believed beauty was power. Her looks had always been enough to pull attention, gain followers, and silence anyone she didn't like. But after Alina's presentation, everything changed. For the first time, students weren't whispering about Alina. They were whispering about Hazel. And not in the way she liked at lunch. Hazel sat down at her usual table, expecting her friends to surround her. Instead, two of them quietly stood up and moved away. Hazel frowned. What's wrong with them? Mira, her closest friend, wouldn't even look her in the eyes. Why is everyone acting so weird? Hazel demanded. Mira cleared her throat nervously. Hazel, the presentation. People think it was about you. Hazel's heart kicked hard in her chest. It wasn't. Alina is making me look bad. Hazel, Mira whispered, you did make fun of her. We all saw it. The video? You posted it? Hazel's face reddened. For the first time, she realized something she hated. People weren't defending her. People weren't scared of her. People were ashamed of her. The next few days were worse. When Hazel entered class, the room felt uncomfortable and quiet. Someone muttered, "How can she talk about people's color like that?" Another whispered, "She's insecure about herself. That's why she bullies others." Hazel clenched her jaw. No, no, this isn't happening. But it was. Even teachers treated her differently, not harshly, but with disappointment. And disappointment hurt worse. During a group project, nobody chose her. She had to join a leftover group. Hazel had never been the leftover anything. Her self-esteem, once high and shining, now cracked like cheap glass. One afternoon, Hazel found Alina in the library. Alina was quietly reading. Earphones in, hair pulled back, her dark skin glowing in the warm sunlight. She looked peaceful. Hazel felt a twist of envy, a kind she had never felt before. She marched over. "Alina, we need to talk." Alina looked up. "About what?" Hazel hesitated. For the first time in her life, she struggled to speak. Everyone thinks I'm a bully because of your presentation." Alina raised an eyebrow. "You are a bully." Hazel inhaled sharply. Nobody had ever said it to her face. "I'm not," Hazel whispered. I didn't think it was a big deal." Lena's voice stayed calm. "You didn't think hurting me was a big deal?" Hazel swallowed. Her throat felt dry. "I didn't mean to, Hazel," Alina cut in softly. "You meant every word. You enjoyed it?" Hazel froze, because it was true. All those times she mocked Alina's skin tone, her simplicity, her looks. Hazel had felt powerful, superior. And now the same words were suffocating her. Hazel stepped back, shaking. "You don't understand," she snapped, her voice rising. "People only liked me because I was pretty. If they think I'm a bad person, what do I have left?" Alina stood slowly. Her voice wasn't angry. It was sad. "Hazel, if the only thing you have is your beauty, then you never had anything real." Hazel felt something inside her break. She ran out of the library, her eyes burning, her hands trembling. For the first time in her life, she felt ugly, not outside. But inside, rumors began spreading, not lies, but truths, stories of Hazel mocking other girls, screenshots, old comments, she thought. People forgot her friend circle shrunk to no one. She tried to fix her reputation by posting pictures, stories, cheerful videos. But every post got fewer likes. People stopped viewing her stories. The spotlight she lived in went dark, and in that darkness, Hazel started seeing herself clearly. She wasn't the hero. She wasn't the victim. She wasn't even the popular girl anymore. She was the villain in her own story. While Hazel's world fell apart, Alina's world began rising beautifully. Her project won first place. She was featured in the newspaper. Teachers praised her. Students respected her. Girls came to her privately, thanking her for speaking up. For the first time in her life, Alina felt visible not because of her skin, but because of her strength. Hazel watched from a distance, her heart heavy with something unfamiliar, regret. And that regret, Hazel's loneliness grew heavier with each passing week. The cafeteria tables felt colder, the halls felt longer, and every whisper felt like a blade slicing into her fading confidence. She had never imagined she would become the girl everyone avoided. Meanwhile, Alina's world was blooming. She was invited to represent the school at the regional conference. A local NGO praised her campaign against color discrimination. Girls who once stayed silent now walked with new confidence because of her. Alina had become exactly what Hazel feared: someone who shined from the inside. Someone truly beautiful and Hazel. She was drowning in the shadows she created. One afternoon, Hazel worked up the courage to approach Alina again. She found her in the school garden, helping younger students prepare a poster for a charity event. They were laughing around her, admiring her leadership. Hazel felt a knot tighten in her chest. She stepped forward. "Alina, can we talk?" Alina paused, then nodded. "Sure, what do you want?" Hazel exhaled shakily. Her voice trembled. I'm sorry. Alina didn't react, not with anger, not with forgiveness. Just silence. Hazel continued. I was jealous. I always pretended to be confident, but the truth is, I was scared. Scared of being ignored. Scared of not being enough. Her eyes filled with tears. I thought making fun of you would make me feel better about myself. But I was wrong. Everything is falling apart now. Lena listened without interrupting. Hazel wiped a tear and whispered, I'm sorry for hurting you. It's cruelly. Alina took a slow breath. Hazel, I didn't do all this to destroy you. Hazel blinked, confused. But everyone hates me now. That's revenge, isn't it? Alina shook her head. No, my revenge was never about making you suffer. She stepped closer, her voice steady and powerful. My revenge was becoming the girl you said I could never be. My revenge was proving to myself that your words don't define me. My revenge was rising, not destroying. Hazel stared at her, stunned. She had expected anger. She had expected humiliation. She had expected payback. Instead, she got truth. Raw, painful truth. Hazel collapsed onto the bench. So, what happens now? Are we enemies forever? Alina sat beside her. No, she said softly, but you have to earn forgiveness. Not from me, from yourself. Hazel whispered, how? By changing, Alina replied. By never treating anyone the way you treated me. Hazel looked down. Nodding, it was the first real moment of honesty she had shown in years. When students saw Alina and Hazel talking, rumors began swirling. But this time, something different happened. Hazel approached people she had hurt before. She apologized awkwardly, clumsily, sometimes with tears. Some forgave her. Some didn't, but she kept trying. Hazel stopped seeking attention through beauty. Instead, she tried being kind. It was a slow process, a humbling one, but people gradually noticed. Meanwhile, Alina kept rising. She won another competition. She became the school's student representative. Her leadership and confidence made her admired by nearly everyone. Hazel no longer envied her. She respected her and she learned from her. Months later, Alina was packing up her books after winning a regional award. Hazel approached her shyly. You looked amazing up there, Hazel said. Confident, strong. Alina smiled gently. Thank you. Hazel hesitated, then asked, do you think we could ever be friends again? Alina thought for a moment, then she answered with maturity far beyond her years. We can't go back to the past, but we can build something new, slowly. Hazel's eyes softened with gratitude. I'd like that. She whispered, and in that moment the revenge story didn't end with destruction. It ended with growth. Alina didn't break Hazel. She changed her. And in doing so, she became a symbol for every girl who had ever been made to feel small. You don't fight cruelty by becoming cruel. You fight it by rising so high the world is forced to change around you.